Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I believe you're going to be blessed by the content here. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. God bless you.
Okay, so this very genuine young man wrote to me, I think sometime last week, and he told me how he has fallen into temptation and how he doesn't know why God keeps bringing temptation his way rather. But let me tell you something. Do you know that you're the originator of your temptation? Temptation doesn't come from God first and doesn't come from the devil first. It comes from your own desires first. Let's check that out in James chapter 1 verse 14 very quickly. James chapter 1 verse 14. He says something. Look at what he says. He said, "But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desires. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is fully grown, gives birth to death." Now, so when that brother told me something, the first question I asked him was this: how long have you been seeing this lady in your heart? How long have you been thinking about this lady? And he told me, when she wears certain clothes, he admires and he keeps thinking and all that. Now that was where it started from. Now he was drawn away by his own lust, and this lust now it started conceiving a seed in his heart. That when he saw this sister and the opportunity was created, the next thing was to fall into the temptation also. Now, so one of the things I want us to know is, what is temptation in the first place? Temptation is simply an enticement to sin, which is often generated from ourselves or from the devil. But most times, let's say 70 to 80% of temptation comes from within first. Yes, there are temptations from outside and there are temptations from within. So we're talking about the temptations from within. Now, what is the purpose of temptation? Temptation is simply to lead one away from God's will for his life, or lead one from God's will into sin. That is one of the major purposes of temptation. Now, a young lady also, let me not mention. Now, this young lady was desiring an iPhone, I think it was 14 then also. It was iPhone 14, I don't know. It was one of these big iPhones she was desiring then, but she didn't have the money to get this iPhone. Then the more she kept thinking about the iPhone and her friends using it and all that, the more these desires keep building up something in her. It started conceiving something, and then the next thing, guess what this lady did? She traded something to get that iPhone. Now that desire has now created that opportunity for the devil to sit on it and bring sin out of these desires. So most times we should be mindful of what we think. We should be mindful of our thoughts. The moment you notice your thoughts start derailing from the thoughts of God, man, be careful. So brother, when you keep thinking about that fair damsel and you admire her in your heart and all this and all that, when it moves from godly admiration, be careful, because the next thing coming is a temptation and it may lead to a fall. Now, okay, we'll see in the Bible where the goal of temptation, right? The goal of temptation is to bring spiritual failure, and for you to compromise. Imagine working in an office and they bring this 3 million. The only thing you need to do is sign a document which was not this, that, and get it 3 million. It has brought you to a place. Are you going to compromise, or are you going to still stand for God? Temptation, the goal of temptation is to bring you to a place of compromise. And the moment you compromise, you discover that there's a spiritual decline in your life on your own. That gives to make you all that like that. Now, do you know Jesus was not tempted based on any other thing, but he was tempted based on his desires? Do you know that one of the things God desired for Jesus is to come and take over the world, till the king, like for him to come and take over the world and the glory? Do you know that was one of the temptations the devil brought to him? He showed Jesus the glory of this of the world and everything. I asked Jesus to bow before him. Do you know that the devil tempted Jesus because he was hungry based on food? The devil did not go outside and tempt Jesus based on another thing, but he discovered that Jesus was hungry after the 40 days and 40 night fast. So what the devil did was to say, if you're the Son of Man, turn this bread into stone, because it was the desire of Jesus to eat, because he was hungry at that point. So are you seeing how temptations are now baited? So don't say temptation comes from God first. Temptation first comes from within. Then when you sit upon this thing, the devil comes to help you carry it out. Now, the life of Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 3, they were also tempted. Eve was tempted and they fell for it. These are examples of temptation. Then we spoke about the temptation of Jesus. And now, do you know David also was tempted by his own desires? Because when he saw the woman, he could not curtail himself again. The next thing he did was to bring the woman, and he fell into that temptation. We can see that in 2 Samuel chapter 11. So now the question is, how do I overcome this temptation? How do I overcome this temptation? The first thing is salvation, right? Resist the devil. James chapter 4 verse 7. Let's quickly see that. James chapter 4 verse 7 says something. It says, submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil and he will flee from you. So the first thing to do is submit yourself totally to God. Once you submit yourself totally to God, he gives you the ability to resist the devil. You cannot submit yourself, you cannot overcome temptation when you're not yet submitted to God. Right? When you're not submitted to God, definitely you're submitted to the devil. The devil will help you bring these temptations to pass. The next thing is in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18. It says, flee from sin rather. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18 says, flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. Flee from sin. That is the other thing. When you see it wrong, when you discover that thought, before it conceives, kill it. Then the last thing is seek the help of God. We see that in Psalms 119 verse 37. Psalms 119 verse 37, where we saw the psalmist made a very good prayer here. Psalms 119 verse 37 says something. He said, turn my eyes from looking at worthless things and give me life in your ways. Ask for God's help at all times, because on your own you cannot do it. Now there's a difference between temptation and trials, and in the next video I'm going to be talking about what trials is and how to overcome trials also. I hope this short video has blessed you and you know where temptation comes from. Temptation doesn't come from anywhere. Temptation comes from yourself first. You're seeing it in James chapter 1 verse 14, and you're also seeing it in other Bible verses like that. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, as this message will help a lot of people overcome this temptation. God bless you richly, and watch out for the next video on how to overcome trials, or what does trial mean. God bless you.